Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button, follow along. This is a story time on how I developed empathy for myself, and ultimately I want to translate what I've learned over to you guys, so hopefully you can pick up some of these tools and be a little bit more mindful and caring of yourself. So, let's get into the story time. First of all, I always have to preface it with something. I have never been empathic towards myself. I've never had empathy towards myself. I have always been very hard on myself, very judgmental. And to kind of understand this, I had to analyze where these thoughts were coming from and why I was so hard on myself. Why did I feel the need to be so judgy? And it's a learned behavior. They say the first 7 years of your life, you are a computer downloading everything, your thought process, everything that you experience and you learn is learned through those first 7 years. It's like what really shapes you into who you are. And I know there's a lot going around now. Like I see memes like on Instagram about how the real world is the Matrix and like you have to kind of reprogram yourself. But anyways, that being said, I learned at a young age that you're a burden if you ask for help. You are weak if you ask for help. You are not beautiful if you are thicker and have short hair and are a tomboy. Like there are things that I learned growing up that might be okay for somebody else's views and it's okay to have your opinions, but I had to step back and realize that is not like solidified anywhere. That is not written in stone. Somebody else's beauty standards do not have to be my beauty standards, and I learned that over time. But ultimately I learned that I am very judgmental towards myself and I lack empathy for myself because that's how I was raised. That's how I was taught. I was mostly taught growing up how to be kind to others and how to take in consideration other people's feelings or like what they're going through or their thought process. And I was taught take care of others before you take care of yourself, and everybody else is a priority and you're not. And to get even deeper into it, like if you're in a grocery store, and I'm calling out my dad on this one, if you're in a grocery store and there are a bunch of people in the sub aisles walking out at you and you're in the main aisle, I was taught by watching him that you're supposed to let everybody else go in front of you before you go, even if technically you have the right of way. Like just let everybody else go in front of you, because not because they're more important, but that's just what I was taught. Like I monkey see, monkey do. And I realized that I was wildly uncomfortable with this because I'm like, well, why does everybody else get special treatment? And why should I care about everybody else when that's not happening to me? People aren't acting the same towards me. And I had to dig deeper. And I realized I wasn't seeing the care that other people were giving me because I was neglecting myself. So story time. Let's get into the story time. So a couple months ago, I had a therapist that I was seeing as a part of my self-help journey. I really wanted to talk to someone, and we can so get into my story time about a psychiatrist. I think that's going to be the next story time, but I found a therapist and she was amazing. She really just let me sit there and vent and say things that were on my mind and let me process as I'm speaking about my experience. So I told her one day that I had to go get my tire changed, and I do have a problem with doing new things or doing things by myself that are new. Like meeting new people or going to new places by myself freaks me out. And I know that there's probably like some childhood trauma there that I still haven't figured out why I'm like that. Because as far as I'm concerned, I never had a terrible experience with trying new things or going to see new people. So I don't know why I'm like that, but anyways, I am. And I knew that I had to go get my tire, I said changed, but I actually just had to get it filled, like it had a leak. So I had to drive out to Sam's Club to go get it fixed. Now the Sam's Club I go to is like 30 minutes away, 45 minutes away, and I was terrified. I'm like thinking the worst. I'm like, these people are gonna turn me away. They're going to tell me that I owe them $150 when I know that's not how much it costs. Like, I was thinking everything and anything that could have made the experience awful. And I knew that I had to go. I didn't have any other day. I had to go that day. So when I went, I imagined my best friend in the seat next to me in my passenger seat. And I'm like, it's going to be okay. I'm doing this for them. Like, we're going to get their tire changed and it's going to be a good time. And all the love that they have for me is here with me. I'm in a safe space. Like, it's going to be a good experience and I'm not going to be in danger. And, I was just doing a lot of self-help talk as I was on my way. Now, if anybody was driving past me, they would have never known. Okay, I just want to say that because this was all in my head. Like, I'm driving, I look like a normal person, but I was having all these conversations in my head about, like, it's gonna be okay, and the person you care about and that cares about you is right next to you, so it's gonna be fine. And sure enough, I go to the Sam's Club, and they're like, yeah, okay, it's only gonna be about 30 minutes. They patched my tire. It was completely free because of my membership, my Sam's Club membership. If you have, like, the $100 annual membership there, your tire gets patched for free. I don't know if y'all know that, but that was my first time knowing that, and I was like, yes, baby, I just saved some money. So 10 out of 10 experience. Like, everyone was super nice. It was super quick, and I got to go home, and I felt so good, right? That's not the point of this. The point of this is that when I was telling my therapist this story, I felt shameful. I told her, I was like, I know this is weird. I kind of feel weird for telling you this, but I imagined my best friend in my car seat to get me through this experience. And she's like, did you tell your friend that? And I was like, no, why would I tell her that? That's so freaking weird. And my therapist says, if your best friend imagined you sitting next to her while going through something scary to her, like she's in a doctor's office getting a shot, and she imagines you next to her and she told you that, how would you feel? And I'm like, I would be so flattered. Like, I think that's adorable, right? And she was like, exactly. Why do you think it's weird when you do it, but for other people it's cute? And she noticed that I was judging myself, and like, I have this judgment that I cast upon myself. And as soon as she told me that and I realized it, I started to feel more empathic towards myself. I was like, from that point on, I started to look at how I treat things as if I'm somebody else. And I'm not sure if that's gonna like resonate with anybody, but when they say like, look at it from an outside perspective, you definitely need to, because I for so long casted all this judgment on myself that nobody else was giving me. Like, nobody else was telling me, ew, you look weird because your hair is frizzy, or you have a big pimple on your face, that's disgusting. No one was telling me that. I guarantee you other people looked at me and they were like, oh, maybe she's having an off day, or not even noticing that I have like a blemish or my hair is a little bit frizzier. Like, these are just things that I would look at myself and judge myself harshly about. And it kind of comes from a like perfectionist mentality, but as soon as I learned that it is okay to not be perfect and it is okay to have off days, it's okay to be human. It's okay to be human. I felt 10 times better about myself. So when I do have like these rough patches, and I start to judge myself, I kind of step out of it, and I'm like, if this was my best friend, would I judge her this way? Like, would I say this to her? So just looking at it from a different perspective, as if like it was somebody you cared about going through your situation, how you would feel as an outsider, like treat yourself like that. And that's what I had to learn. I had to learn to do that. Yeah, and I'm looking at my planner because I'm like, what else is there to say about this? But I guess that's it. That's really just it. Like, I had this moment where I felt ashamed for imagining my best friend, and I learned how to be more empathic towards myself because I wasn't treating myself the way I treat others. Like, I had so many higher standards for myself. And again, kind of looping that back to what I said earlier, like, this was a learned behavior. And you know, my parents, they were kind of taught like those negative thoughts, but that's not something that I have to carry into my life. That's not something that I need to live with. There are gonna be days where I'm harder on myself than I should be, but man, once I figured out that like you literally need to look at it from an outsider perspective if you cast this judgment on yourself 24/7, like it is such a great tool and it's helped me tremendously. My anxiety, I feel, is way less stressful because I'm not putting that pressure on myself anymore. And I grabbed this because I really wanted to drink. Hold on. So if you feel that, you know, you have these negative thoughts coming up about yourself and I don't know, maybe you will have somebody, like, I don't know what you guys are going through personally, but I know for a fact that I don't have people shaming me or telling me the things that I say in my head. Of course, I have haters on IG and TikTok, like, I have little trolls that exist, but for the most part, most of it is positive feedback, and the negativity comes from me overthinking. So if you guys are going through something like that, the hardest part is just like taking a step back and realizing that you're being that way. But once you can get over that, once you can like in that very moment say, whoa, 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 hey, I'm having a human moment. And then looking from an outsider's perspective, like, you know, if this was my best friend, I wouldn't be so mean about it. Like, I wouldn't be thinking these thoughts. Then knock it off. Then you realize you need to knock it off, and that like, okay, I'm just a human like everyone else, and I'm gonna have my days and my moments, and it's so crazy that going to change a tire and having that conversation with my therapist saying like, you know, I feel weird about this has brought me so much more like enlightenment. I feel enlightened on this, and I know as somebody that doesn't judge themselves would look at this video and be like, man, that's kind of sad. But at the same time, like, we're real and people have anxiety, and we all have this little judgy voice in the back of our head that I wish I could flick out of there. It's like a little flea, like a negative flea in the back of your mind that just like, hey, I don't know, I'm kind of rambling now, but you get what I'm trying to say. I really just had to take a second and look at myself from somebody else's shoes, and it wasn't so bad, and it isn't so bad, and I'm going to continue to do that until I have rewired the way that I think, and slowly but surely it is working. I'm having a lot less negative thoughts about myself than I ever did before, and I feel that it's also showing physically, like my skin is getting better, and I'm not carrying so much like water weight, if that even is a thing. Like, I just feel kind of slimmer because I'm not being so negative, like wrapped up in these negative thoughts. And I hope you took something away from this. I hope you did. I know I ramble, but I hope that you found some value in this story, because it is okay to have human moments, and that's that. I hope you find empathy for yourself. I hope that looking from an outsider perspective, that it really does help you find that love and that care. Because when you treat yourself like somebody you love, hopefully you treat the people you love nicely and with respect. But when you treat yourself the way you treat others, with that love, that care, that generosity, that protection, oh man, does the world change. So, I love you guys. I hope you loved this story. Remember to follow me. There's going to be more.